We never make it to the news. By Njebulo Goba. At age 5 I held a real gun for the first time, and at age 7 I had one pointed at me. He placed the muzzle of the Beretta between my eyes and I froze. Thoughts stampeded through my mind. Run, scream, put your hands up, he won't shoot, etc. I closed my eyes and waited for it, the gruesome pop. The last sound I'd hear before I went to heaven like Grandma said I would if I died. Click, and my whole body jerked as if having the biggest hiccup I'd ever had. He laughed. "Come on, man, don't play like that," my big brother said to him, taking the gun from his hand. The blood rushing through my veins suddenly felt ice cold. I shivered, and then I cried. Big bro picked me up to comfort me as his friend enjoyed a thorough laugh. At 7, I had heard thousands of gunshots, seen 9 people get shot dead, touched several types of guns, but I wasn't in a war zone in a literal sense now. I was in the hood. A South African township in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. My neighborhood seemed to be off the radar. I'd watch the news and see a so-called catastrophe where 10 innocent people died, and I'd wonder why I never saw my neighborhood in the news because things like that happened regularly. The buildings looked like someone took one building from each financial class, from a shack to a mansion, put them in a playlist and pressed shuffle. Because of that ridiculous difference in financial states, the poor man would steal from his rich neighbor, and the rich neighbor would shoot him, and the poor man's friend would shoot the rich neighbor, etc. The mystery was why the rich people never left. Some said it was because all their friends lived there. Some said it was because of free water, free electricity, and or cheap land. But I grew up to realize it was because of ego. The neighborhood grew us up to be fearless, to never run from a fight, and leaving the hood meant you were a sissy. As a teenager, I had a friend who had a PlayStation and one who didn't even have a home, and we all got along very well. We spent hours every day standing on the street. It was fun. We got to see pretty girls, see people get robbed, stabbed, and shot dead. I remember the terrifying experience of watching a neighbor of mine shoot my best friend's father, a man that was 2 times older than him, yelling, "You don't respect me," as he emptied out his magazine on a man I knew was only guilty of telling him to stop stealing from his neighbors. My best friend and I never talked about that. About 3 months later, the man who shot my best friend's father was assassinated by police. Again, my best friend and I didn't talk about it. All he said to me was, "You can go to your neighbor's funeral if you want." And I said okay, but never went. I learned at a young age that shutting up is a need, that if you talk too much, you die. In my hood, and possibly in every other hood, a human's basic needs are water, food, shelter, and a whole lot of shutting up. Everyone else in my hood kept their mouths shut too, and they still do. I guess that's one of the reasons why we never make it to the news.